Hello guys, welcome back to another video. We're going to be breaking down UFC 277, Peña versus Nunes 2, Moreno versus Drakkar France 2 for the interim flyweight belt. And yeah, let's get into it immediately. We have Orion Cosce, I think that's how you say it, versus Blood Diamond in the welterweight division. So for this fight, Cosce's last fight, I believe, was against Phil Rowe, that he did lose. Against Phil Rowe that he did lose. And he has solid hands, but like his striking is not very good at all. Like he does have some power, but he wings a lot of shots and uses himself open quite a bit. And yeah, he likes to look for the crucifixes early in the fight. I believe same thing, he did it with Rowe, and then he got a submission one against in a crucifix. I believe the fight before that against Matt Dixon, so he's always looking for the crucifix. And he doesn't really have any decisions on his record. So for Blood Diamond, in his last fight against Jeremiah Wells, he had solid takedown defense. It took Wells like a minute and a half to take him down. And I think he'll be able, like, if he didn't do anything in the last 4 months of Blood Diamond, he would be working on his takedown defense. I think he can stuff the takedowns here. This matchup took me a long time to pick. Orion Cosce is 28 years old and Blood Diamond's 34. I think Blood Diamond will edge this one out. Probably get him out of there in like the second or third round. He also has a 5-inch reach advantage. Like, here's the thing: if Cosce takes him down, I could see him putting him in like a crucifix or whatever and just take him out immediately. But I do think Blood Diamond is working on his takedown defense. I think he will stuff him a lot better. I think he'll be able to keep Cosce at range and pick him apart. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna go with for that fight. Yeah, let's move on. Let me just put this there. Yeah, so let's move on to the next fight on the card. We have Negumereanu. Morono. I don't know. I need to practice these names before. And Ihor Potieria in the light heavyweight division. I think it's Negumereanu. I don't know. I give up. But yeah, this is the only picture they had on the website for Potieria. So the black and white, so it is what it is. Was it last fight in the UFC? No, it was in the Contender Series, so that makes sense then. So for this fight, he likes Negumereanu. I'm gonna get a lot of trouble for saying this word, or for saying this name. Negumereanu likes to work the clinch a lot. He does throw shots often, but gets hit at the same time, so he leaves himself open when he throws punches a lot. He does have solid power, but not very accurate with it. He just throws hands and stuff like that. Probably like most of the upper division, like the heavyweight division, kind of throws in general. So yeah, and does like to make it a little scrappy in his fights too. Once they get closer and start swinging a lot. On the Contender Series, Ihor Potieria, I'm still not saying these right, cracked his opponent really early in his first fight. He has lots of power, very accurate puncher, and could put Negumereanu in a lot of trouble here. So I'm going to go with Potieria in this fight. He is 26 years old compared to Nick's 27-year-old self. I think he will win this fight. Potieria is still very young. But yes, I'm going Potieria in this fight. You always got to grab the screen at some point in this video, right? Move over to the center. Let's move on. We have Yeon Kim versus Joselyne Edwards in, I believe, the flyweight division. So for this fight, I'm going with Joselyne Edwards. She's 26 years old, a lot younger than Yeon Kim. But Kim knocked down Molly McCann in her in her fight. Has solid power. Technique's a little off. Let me just say that. And then Edward won against Pascal in her last fight and will be smarter on the feet than Kim. We'll probably keep Kim at range here. Kim does have the longer reach here, but I think I guess Pascal was not very smart in her last fight too. So in these lower level fights, it can go either way. I'm gonna go with Joselyne Edwards here. She had a pretty solid win in her last fight. A lot younger, but we'll see. I think this will probably go to a decision. Really a toss up, but I'm going Joselyne Edwards. I'm not confident in this fight at all, but yeah. And Yeon came as on a 3-fight losing streak. Edwards was on a 2-fight losing streak before she won her last fight. Yeah, moving on. Next fight up the card, we have Michael Morales versus Adam Fugitt. I think that's what they said in the videos. Fugitt. In the welterweight division. Morales did get knocked down by Trevor Giles in his last fight. Does have good takedown defense. And good power. But Fugitt throws like a lot of kicks. I think one of his fights, I think he should have just head kicked the whole time. I had to go really far back to find any like super competitive fights for him. Yeah, he's come back. I think he's come back after a 2-year layoff. Last fight was 4 months ago at LFA. Getting Solomon run for him. But yeah, I think he got the underdog victory, but he just kept swinging leg kicks. This is his debut. Does mix takedowns pretty well, but Morales is super athletic. Does have some pretty great power here. I'm not sure what Adam Fugitt's reach is. Let me look it up. But Michael Morales does have a 79-inch reach. Yeah, it looks like they haven't measured it yet. Oh, okay, so ESPN says he has a 75-inch reach. So Michael Morales will have a 4-inch reach advantage in the fight. I think that's pretty great for Michael Morales. I'm giving it to Michael Morales in this fight. I think he will win. Yeah, moving on up the card, we have Drakkar Klose versus let's change that. Drakkar Klose versus Rafa Garcia in the lightweight division. Klose looked real. This is a pretty good fight, by the way. Klose looked real technical and had really good grappling in his last fight against Brandon Jenkins. Destroyed Brandon Jenkins. Klose is a lot faster on the feet. Probably defends takedowns pretty well, or he does. Sorry, not probably, but does defend takedowns pretty well. But yeah, he looked really good in his last fight. I think he'll be able to strike first against Rafa Garcia. Yeah, I think Drakkar Klose will just be a lot faster than him. Won't have to worry too much about the takedowns, and I think he'll just pick them apart. He does have a 2-inch reach advantage in this fight. Is quite a bit older, but I do think the advantage is to Drakkar Klose in this fight. Yeah, moving on up the card, we have, okay, this should be interesting. Dontel Mays versus Hamdy Abdelwahab. This is what I'm guessing his name is spelled like. Yeah, so this is a very interesting fight. I couldn't find any good fights for Hamdy Abdelwahab until like 10 years ago. I don't know about 10 years ago, but a lot of years ago when he was in Gamebred FC, they were giving him legit dudes that had like milkers on and are like grandpas. Like, it's freaking ridiculous. Would just like throw 5 punches and the match would be over. Like, no test for him at all. But yeah, Dontel Mays and these guys just super heavyweights, very heavy guys, solid stand up. for Dontel Mays' last fight, he crucifix won. Hamdy only has 2 decisions in his whole career because he's fought nobody's. You have to look all the way back to his like super amateur days to even get an idea of what he was like competitively, and that was so far long ago that I don't even know how helpful that would be since he is 29 years old, you know. But he is super wild on the feet. This should be a really good fight. I'm not sure what his takedown defense is, but so Dontel Mays has an 81-inch reach advantage here. And Abdelwahab is 73-inch reach. So this is a pretty 8-inch reach advantage is no joke. But I can see Abdelwahab rushing in, trying to KO him, but we could definitely see Dontel Mays take him down or something. I'm not too sure what to make of this fight. I don't have enough information on Hamdy. I'm going to go with Dontel Mays for a safer pick because I have no idea about Abdelwahab. But, yeah, he's 3-0, I guess. I don't know. I don't get much from that fight. Yeah. So we're going to go Dontel Mays. Moving on. Up the card. We have Drew Dober versus Rafael Alves in the lightweight division. Yeah. So for this fight, Alves does have good stand-up and wings heavy punches, but when he rocks people immediately, he kind of just like runs and jumps up to get the guillotine in, like immediately. I think he finished one of his fights recently. Mark DeCage, he won that way. Rocked him and then jumped to guillotine. I think in his other fights, same thing with Flores, I believe. I think a couple of his other fights he did the same thing, went for the guillotine and didn't get it. What was it was Demir's Magulov too that he lost to. He rocked him, sent it to the ground, and then tried to jump the guillotine and could not get it. But yeah, he does get less output over the rounds that goes on. So like the longer the fight goes on, he throws way less. Yeah, Dober is a really big dude, super tough and has a great chin. He can take a lot of Alves's punishment in this fight, to the point where I think he'll be able to take a lot of his shots and win the fight that way, not get taken down. And yeah, I think he'll just win. He'll be better over 3 than Alves is. So yeah, I'm going Dober here. Yeah, let's move on up the card. We have Matthew Semelsberger versus Alex Morono in the welterweight division. And so for this fight, I was having a really tough time with it too. I think this is a lot closer than some people were giving it. Well, I guess Tapology has it 47% Morono and 53% Semelsberger. But yeah, this is a really close fight. For Semelsberger, he is very solid on feet and can take pretty hard shots. We saw it against Chaos Williams, who he did lose to, but he wasn't even he didn't have an issue with Chaos Williams, unlike Alex Morono, where he just got taken out immediately. Like Chaos Williams would rush Semelsberger, he would rally away and then not rally away, but move around, dodge most of his attacks, tank some of his harder shots, and then deal him out too. He did pretty well against Chaos Williams, and also can scramble on the ground pretty well against like he did AJ Fletcher, who was a really big dude for that division. Would throw Semelsberger on the ground, lay on top of him, and Semelsberger would reverse, would come up on top, reverse position from the ground. Pretty good there. Scrambled out pretty well. Morono is a counter puncher, really. Like he'll just sit there until you punch, and then he'll counter, which Semelsberger will do. He will lead the punch here. And yeah, in the matchup I watched, it was Alex Morono versus David Zawada. I think Zawada in that fight would act more like Semelsberger in this fight. I think it's going to be a really close fight here. Semelsberger does have a better chin and stronger punches than Zawada, but I wouldn't mind edging this out to Morono. I think he is an underdog here. But yeah, this is a super close fight. Like, I would normally go like the safer pick here is probably Semelsberger, but I think Morono has a pretty solid chance here. 3-fight win streak for him. Semelsberger 2-fight win streak for him. Yeah. I don't know. This is a really tough fight to choose. I really want to go Morono because he's the underdog. So I'm going to take him. I think I'm probably going to be wrong here, but I'm going to take the underdog in this fight. So Zawada has the same reach as Semelsberger, so it's the same 3-inch reach advantage. Morono's able to hit that more powerful shots on Zawada, so that's the thing. So the way this fight will be scored, I think it will go to a decision, but I think over 3 rounds. It's a little interesting here because Semelsberger hits a lot harder than Zawada, in my opinion, and like visually, like damage wise, can Morono get away with inflicting more damage on Semelsberger because he does have a good chin? Depends on that, but I think I'll go Morono here, just so I can take an underdog. But I'm not super confident. It's more like a 55-45 here. I'm gonna go Morono. Yeah, let's move on. I do really like Semelsberger though. Very entertaining fighter. Moving on up to the main card, I believe. This is the start of the main card. Magomed Ankalaev versus Anthony Smith in the light heavyweight division. Smith does come in here with the 1-inch reach advantage. Let's change the notes here. Ankalaev is a good puncher. Smith punches quite a bit. Like, that's all he was doing, especially against Ryan Spann. I can see Ankalaev picking him apart in this fight if he doesn't get caught with those big wing punches. Because Smith does like to get into gets a little dirty in the fight too. Like, likes to throw punches, likes to make the fight dirty. Likes to just wing punches at each other and see who the last one standing, basically. 3-rounders do favor Smith in this fight. I think a 5-round fight would have favored Ankalaev a lot more here, but it is a 3-rounder. It does favor Smith. He can put more output into the fight than he would be in a 5-rounder. The odds on this fight are a little disrespectful to Smith. Like, I think Ankalaev is a -500 and Smith's a +355. Like, it's a little much, especially in a 3-rounder, but they just don't want people betting on Ankalaev. I'm gonna go Ankalaev here. Smith is a solid fighter, but he's a good fighter. But yeah, I'm gonna go Ankalaev here. I think he's doing a lot better now since his loss to Paul Craig, where he got caught. But I think he'll be able to dominate this fight. Maybe Smith picks up the round, but I think Ankalaev will have a really good showing here. But again, anything can happen here, especially if you can't grab the screen. But yeah, Smith can do pretty well in this fight. He can catch Ankalaev if he can catch him. But I'm gonna go with the safer pick here, which is Ankalaev. So let's move on up the fight card to Derrick Lewis versus oh wait, I think I skipped a fight. Oh, let's go back. So yeah, we have Alexandre Pantoja, I think that's Alexandre Pantoja versus Alex Perez. In this fight, Pantoja will have a 3.5, 2.5 reach advantage. Pantoja did beat Moreno twice, and Kai France does have great grappling and has alright stand-up. Perez is good with submissions and wrestling, but I think Pantoja will be better on the feet and in the grappling. Plus, Perez has taken a year and a half off since his last loss against Davison Figueiredo, and he did get choked out there. I'm gonna give this to Pantoja. I think he's a really good fighter. I think he will be able to dominate this fight. In all honesty, I don't know if there will be a finish, but I think he'll be able to stuff the takedowns, inflict a lot of damage. Yeah, I'm just gonna give it to Pantoja. Moving on up the card, we have Sergei Pavlovich versus Derrick Lewis. This fight, the odds are pretty weird on this. They have Pavlovich right now as even, so you cannot make any money on him, money line wise. Derrick Lewis is a minus 120. I don't know if they updated this at all, but yeah, Derrick Lewis is still minus 120. Favorite, I don't know why they have Pavlovich as even. I guess they want to see how people are betting first. But I think, they're very similar fighters in a certain aspect. Pavlovich cracked Shamil Abdurakhimov, KO'd him, like, vicious KO, like, I don't know why I'm saying like a lot. Very vicious KO. I would say disturbing, but it was pretty crazy. Just snapped the head back and went completely down to Shamil Abdurakhimov. But yeah, he has good power and is very similar to Lewis. They'll both stand there and then punch. I don't know if this will be a dead fight. Hopefully they get at it. I think I'll give it to the younger fighter here. I'm gonna go to Sergei Pavlovich, because I think Derrick Lewis's chin is not the same anymore. I think he kind of just gives up in fights too. I think Pavlovich will give him a really hard time in the fight, but this should be pretty good if they go at it. Pavlovich does have a 5-inch reach advantage here, which is pretty good reach advantage, especially in the heavyweight division, where you can kind of pick apart like a guy like Derrick Lewis from outside, especially with that power. Yeah, that should be a very good fight. But moving on up the card, we have Brandon Moreno versus Kai France 2 for the interim flyweight title in the flyweight division. So Moreno's coming off 3 fights with Davison Figueiredo. One's a draw, one's a win, one's a loss. Kai France coming off his last 3 wins were Rogerio Bontorin, Cody Garbrandt, and Askar Askarov. Very good performances there. In the first fight, Kai France got the best of Moreno in the first round. I believe it was a 3-round fight. Kai France did pretty well in the first round. Was getting the best of Moreno. After that, it was all Moreno. I don't know, in a 5-round fight, I'm even more worried for Kai France. Yeah, I'm not too bullish on Kai France's cardio as the fight goes on. Maybe he fixed it, I don't know, but in a 5-round fight versus a 3-round fight, he's getting tired in the 3-round fight and loses to Moreno. 5-round fight's not going to be any better here. I'm going to go Brandon Moreno, and so we'll see Davison Figueiredo versus him for the 4th time. But yeah, the 5-round fight will benefit Moreno in here. But yeah, that's what I got. But moving on to the greatest main event in UFC history. The most, what did they say? The most anticipated match of all time in the UFC. Julianna Peña versus Amanda Nunes 2 in the UFC bantamweight division. So the last fight, so they have similar reaches and all that. Julianna Peña is 2 years younger, whatever. So in the first fight, it was a pretty good fight. Peña did get knocked down. I think she got tripped one time with Nunes threw a leg kick and she fell down to the ground. Second time, Nunes cracked her with a jab in the first round, sent Peña to the ground. Nunes went to go on the top to take her out. Peña did a really good job defending any submission attempts or in ground and pound. She did a really good job there. Nunes' leg kicks in that first fight were pretty damaging on Peña. If she does not check those this time, she's going to be in a lot of trouble. That leg was about to go before she finished the fight in the first match. I don't think she would have been able to take more leg kicks. I think right before Amanda Nunes wasn't having good fight IQ and was just wing 1-2s at Peña. She's taken out that leg. It was gonna look like it was gonna be a problem during the fight. I do think Amanda Nunes did not train as much as she would have the first time. That's what they're saying. That's what I was hearing. That's what Amanda's been saying. She didn't train as hard. She had a kid. Had did they go to the new gym at that point? I think they made their own gym, but did they move gyms at that point? But yeah. Will Amanda show up better this time? I don't know. That's up to her. Is she actually going to train? Not show up better, but because we can't predict that. But is she going to train this time? I don't know. In the first fight, Nunes did gas out. Peña was touching her up quite a bit. Peña was out toughing her, if that makes sense. She was taking her shots, was not going away from it. I don't know if there's much to say here. She just out toughed her. Amanda kind of gave up. She gassed out. Peña put her arm around her on her face, and she's like, "I'm done with this shit." So yeah, we'll see how this is basically how Amanda Nunes shows up, how this fight will end. If Nunes trains hard and wants to win the fight, she will win the fight. I think she could probably crack Peña and finish her on the ground. Not by submission or anything, but just ground and pound. If she wants to, or she can stand her up again and then knock her down again, and then when she's actually not quite there anymore. But yeah, Peña could still win this fight. I don't know how much Nunes has left. She's still 34, is still a champion in another division. But you know what I mean? I don't know. It just depends on how Nunes shows up. Can't really you can't really I can't really make a prediction here. I think Nunes will train better this next time, so that's why I'm gonna go with her. But Peña does have a good chance of winning this fight. But yeah, that's all I have. Sorry if I'm looking off. I'm trying to see who's been inactive or not. But yeah, I think the odds on this fight are pretty interesting. Okay, I'm getting distracted. But Peña Nunes is minus 290 and Peña's plus 235. So if you want to bet on Peña, this might be a good idea here. Yeah, it just depends if Nunes shows up, is basically what I got here. But leg kicks, jabs, and then maybe a second or third round later in the fight, and they'll start counting up on Peña. She's going to take her out. TKO, third, fourth round. Probably third round. But we'll see if Nunes will be able to hang in there. That's a big issue here. But yeah, that's all I got today. We do have the Contender Series on Wednesday or Tuesday, I believe. I have to check. But yeah, on Wednesday or Tuesday we do have the Contender Series. So I will make either a video on who's the best prospects there, or so it is Tuesday. Who's the prospects to look out for, or predictions. It'll come out at some point, maybe on Monday or Tuesday before. But yeah, Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.